Most people don't fail because they're not smart enough. They fail because their mind is noisy, reactive, and constantly pulled in 10 different directions. By the end of this video, you will understand how to build success in life and business by training your mind to stay calm, under pressure, focused in chaos, and disciplined without relying on motivation. If you've ever felt busy but unproductive, if you've ever worked long hours but still felt behind, if you've ever wondered why effort doesn't always translate into results, this isn't about doing more. It's about thinking differently. Centuries ago, warriors made life and death decisions with less information, but more clarity than most people have today. They didn't rely on hacks, shortcuts, or bursts of motivation. They trained the mind first. And once you understand how they did it, you'll never approach success the same way again. In modern life, failure rarely comes from a lack of talent. It comes from scattered attention. People wake up already reacting to messages, emails, headlines, and demands. They start working without direction, switch tasks constantly, and end the day exhausted but unsure what actually moved them forward. You see this everywhere. In business, two people can have the same role, the same resources, and the same intelligence, yet one consistently outperforms the other. Not because they work harder, but because they think more clearly. They pause before reacting. They choose what matters. They don't let urgency dictate their decisions. Your brain was never designed for constant urgency. It evolved to protect you from danger, not to process endless stimulation. When this system stays activated, clarity collapses. You think short-term. You chase quick relief instead of long-term results. But there is another way to operate. Long ago, there lived a samurai named Haru. He was ambitious, disciplined, and deeply dissatisfied. He trained relentlessly, yet under pressure his mind tightened. He rushed decisions. He overcommitted. His effort was real, but his outcomes were inconsistent. Haru's situation is familiar. It's the entrepreneur who works non-stop, but keeps pivoting without progress. It's the professional who attends every meeting, but never has time for deep work. It's the student who studies for hours, but panics during exams. One evening, exhausted and close to giving up, Haru visited an old monk who lived outside the village. Haru asked him a single question. "Why do I work so hard and still fall short?" The monk replied calmly, "Because you confuse movement with progress." Haru expected harder training. Instead, the monk told him to sit. This was the first lesson. Before action, stillness. The monk explained that when the mind is overstimulated, the brain shifts into survival mode. In that state, long-term thinking disappears. Decisions become reactive instead of deliberate. You see this in real life, when someone sends an emotional email they later regret, accepts a bad deal because they felt pressured, or makes a rushed business decision just to escape uncertainty. So each morning, before training, Haru practiced slowing his breath, not to escape thought, but to regain control over his internal state. Over time, his reactions softened. His thinking expanded. He stopped rushing into decisions he later regretted. In modern terms, this is what effective leaders do instinctively. Before difficult conversations, negotiations, or strategic decisions, they slow down. They regulate their emotions first, because they know a calm mind sees more options. At this point, many people think they already understand. "Be calm," they say. But here's the truth. Calm alone does not create success. Calm without direction leads to comfort. Calm with discipline creates power. And this is where the samurai path becomes practical, for modern life and business. The second lesson Haru learned was about attention. The monk told him, "Your life will follow what you repeatedly focus on." Attention is limited. Whatever you feed it to grows stronger in your perception. If your attention lives in fear, comparison, and urgency, your world will feel unstable. If your attention is trained towards skill, contribution, and execution, opportunities become visible. Think about modern work. Some people spend their day reacting, checking messages, scrolling updates, responding to every request immediately. Others protect their attention. They block time for deep work. They finish what matters before responding to noise. The difference in results compounds over months and years. Haru learned to notice when his attention drifted, to imagined failures, to approval, to outcomes he could not control, and to bring it back to the task in front of him. This is the same skill used by top performers in every field. Athletes return focus after mistakes. Executives refocus after setbacks. Entrepreneurs narrow attention after failed experiments. The third lesson challenged Haru's ambition. Haru wanted rapid advancement. The monk refused and assigned him only one task: master a single foundational movement, slowly, precisely, every day. Haru resisted. He wanted recognition. He wanted visible progress. The monk corrected him. Speed without stability collapses. Reliability builds trust. Over time, Haru learned that repetition creates automatic competence. Automatic competence frees mental energy, and freed mental energy allows strategic thinking instead of constant firefighting. You see this in business systems. Companies that scale successfully do not rely on heroic effort. They rely on repeatable processes. When basics are automated, leaders can think long-term instead of fixing daily chaos. Individuals work the same way. When routines are stable, morning habits, work systems, decision rules, life becomes calmer and progress accelerates. Then came the lesson that changed everything. The monk said, "Stop asking what you want. Start asking what the world needs." Haru realized that chasing success had blinded him. When he shifted toward solving problems, improving usefulness, and becoming dependable, his position changed naturally. This applies directly to modern careers and businesses. People who ask, "How can I be more valuable?" advance faster than those who ask, "Why am I not rewarded yet?" Entrepreneurs who study customer problems succeed more than those obsessed with personal goals. Leaders who focus on enabling others outperform those chasing status. Haru's reputation grew quietly. He became known as calm under pressure, clear in judgment, and consistent in execution. He did not force success. He aligned with it. This is the modern way of the warrior. You don't need ancient weapons or isolation. You need emotional regulation, focused attention, disciplined systems, and a contribution-first mindset. You regulate your state before making decisions. You protect your attention like a scarce resource. You build systems that function even when motivation disappears. You focus on becoming valuable instead of chasing outcomes. When you do this consistently, success stops feeling random. It becomes predictable. Before we finish, here are 10 practical takeaways you can apply immediately to life and business. Calm your nervous system before important decisions with slow, controlled breathing. Treat distraction as training. Strengthen focus by returning attention calmly. Reduce priorities. Clarity comes from fewer, better goals. Build systems instead of relying on motivation. Practice core skills deliberately until they become automatic. Make decisions from calm, not urgency or fear. Focus on contribution before reward. Study the real needs of your environment, market, or role. Design your environment to support discipline, not temptation. Commit to consistency. Small actions done daily compound into power. Success is not loud. It is quiet, steady, and intentional. Those who master their mind master their direction. Those who master their direction shape their future. And once you understand this, life and business stop feeling like a struggle and start feeling like a path you can walk with clarity.